Give the people what they want. Yeah, you're going to kickstart my influencer career. My name is Olivia Schimmel. I'm a project manager at Atlas Copco Mafi-Trench company. Pretty much every day I have a customer-related call or a project-specific call. So it could be with a customer we're serving directly or maybe with a vendor that we're trying to work through an issue with. And then every day there's some sort of troubleshooting for an engineering problem, a fabrication problem, or some sort of vendor issue. I actually originally started my college career thinking I was going to be a mechanical engineer. That failed hard and fast the first year because I wasn't really enjoying my coursework, and the idea of taking math for 4 years sounded atrocious. So I reevaluated what bachelor's I wanted to do and focused onto something more in the manufacturing and like project execution side of things. I think there can be a disconnect, especially with companies that don't have their manufacturing facility on site. But being able to walk on the floor and see what's actually going on with our employees that are the people putting in the extra hours, people coming in on weekends, maybe working on a holiday, being able to interact with them while we're working through that kind of crunch time in the project is really the most fun part of my job, I think. For the challenging part of my project, for my job, my role here, I would say is managing scope creep with customers. I'm a pretty amicable person, so having to say no 7 times in a row can feel kind of maybe not natural. It's definitely a skill to build up, but knowing that I'm doing it for the sake of the loading of my team as well as this facility in general is the motivation to keep saying no to customers if it's something that wasn't contractually agreed to. So since I've only been here for 2 years, I feel like I'm just starting out my journey, but in terms of kind of what's been successful so far, I think the biggest thing that's been able to benefit me is making sure that I know what I don't know and identify the senior people who do know what you don't know. So the nice thing about working here is we've got a lot of people that are happy to help as long as you know to ask the question. So for my overall career and life, I would say the opportunity to build stability for future generations to come really inspires me. We moved to California when I was really young. My dad lived overseas for a few years, so less stable in that way, but the idea of being able to maybe own a home in California, which is not a dream and a potential success that I take lightly, that really motivates me to work hard and know that with a good career I can build a stable foundation for myself and for any future potential kids. And then outside of my stability desires in life, I also really like meeting new people and seeing how different personalities work together. There are obviously stereotypes about who goes into engineering, who goes into project management, the kind of people that work in sales and applications. But even within those groups, there's a lot of variety. So I find, although when challenges arise on a project, it's usually stressful in the immediate, it's really interesting to see how people react under stress and to identify what motivates my individual team members. If somebody were interested in working with Atlas Copco, I'd encourage them to see if there's anybody in their network or their network's network that they can contact. That's how I got involved here. A mentor of mine happened to be college friends with somebody that worked at Atlas Copco and put me in contact. The other side, besides getting your initial foot in the door, I would say look for a position where you either think the role really aligns with you. I know that early in career it's hard to decide which job you want to go into, and it can feel like an impossible decision, or that somehow if you choose this today, what if in 5 years you don't want to do this job anymore? Don't be afraid of pigeonholing yourself. There's definitely room to move, but you can always go based off of what the activities are for that role. So maybe the job title doesn't sound that interesting to you, but if you read what the expected tasks are, if you're somebody who likes to be in a spreadsheet or an SAP and you're not super collaborative with your work, then maybe try and find something that describes those actions, even if the job title doesn't exactly align.